Hello traders, welcome back to another week forecast. Last week we had an amazing week, and here we are again with another forecast for this week. Let's start with the dollar index. Okay, so last week dollar index, I mentioned that I wanted to see them trade to this level, this, and then potentially up here. But on Wednesday, price decided to change direction to continue the down movement. This week is a little bit tricky because what I was expecting them to do, it didn't quite manifest, but I haven't given it up yet because I think this low is an important low. So it's either it's gonna stay in a consolidation or it might move back up, maybe into this volume imbalance. On the H4, there is a bearish order block that I'm interested in. If we hit that, maybe during the course of the week, I might be interested in selling the dollar. So I'll not sell the dollar, but I'll use the Euro, USD, Aussie, and then the New Zealand to take a buy. So I'm looking at this bearish order block here. If we do trade to it and then rejection, I'll be looking to buy the foreign currencies. On the downside, we still have a small little imbalance in here. So depending on how we trade on Monday, if we trade to, let's say, this level, which was the previous level I anticipated, if we see a rejection, then I might be interested in price going up here. So it's going to be based on experience this week. If you have no experience, it's going to be very hard for you to know which direction price is going to go. So my recommendation for everyone trading the foreign currencies is to scalp or to day trade. If you see anything that makes sense to you, then day trade it. Don't look for a bigger move because it can stay in a consolidation. All right, so my prediction is that if it comes up here, I'll look for a day trade. If it goes down here, I'll look for a day trade or a scalp. All right, Euro, on the upside, I still think we might trade up here. Okay, but again, it can consolidate, so I'll just take what price is going to give me when we start the week. All right, so more scalping or day trading than looking for big range expansion on the Euro. Same thing applies to the Aussie. I think it might trade up into this candle's low, but if I don't see any signs of it, then I'll just again scalp or day trade. And then finally, New Zealand, this pair is strong, so that might be the one that I might get a buy and hold to go up here. First, I'll look for this level as a partial, and then I'll leave the rest to go up here because I think this pair is very strong right now, the New Zealand. Okay. Crude oil, last week I identified this as a drawn liquidity, and on Tuesday they did manage to get there, but as soon as it got there, quick rejection, but that didn't sustain, and then they rejected and came back down again. So I'm looking for price to go and trade down here going into the rest of the week, going into this week. On the lower time frame, maybe it might pull back. So if it does pull back, I'm watching this breaker or this down candle. We didn't quite touch it properly. What I mean by is, if I change it to a line chart, you'll see why it didn't touch it properly to me, right? So I'll be looking for them to come back because a lot of sellers will be short and stops will be here. If you are short and you are trailing your stop, the best place to put it would be here. So I want to see them go and run them out, which will potentially form the high of the week, and then I'll look for price to go down. So we might get a pullback and then I'll expect it to reject. So my next downside objective is 73.89. And then finally euro yen, I'm looking for price to go and attack this low. I like what we had from Wednesday to Thursday. I got a really nice sell in here and then in here. So I'm looking for continuation to the downside. It might require for price to trade up into this imbalance in here, and then we roll down. This would be my first objective, second, and then I expect them to run this low. Okay, now the majors, as I said, they are kind of in a consolidation, or they might move into a consolidation. So it's a consolidation to up on the euro, Aussie, New Zealand, and then dollar consolidation to down. So it's not pretty clear. So what I'm actually doing is trading the crosses, right? So New Zealand, the target that I gave last week is still there. I'm gonna look for that. Euro New Zealand, I'm gonna look for that. New Zealand cards, I gave this equal high, this equal high as a draw on liquidity last week, and they managed to get that. This peg didn't give me an entry. I did finally get something on Friday over here. Just that small move over there, that's where I got an entry. My original entry for the week was here to go and attack the equal high, but you can see price did not take me in, and then they went without me. So this is where I actually got an entry. So I'm looking for continuation going into the following week, or this week coming. Pound card, same thing. I'm looking for price to draw up into that, and then this equal high. So we might see some big movement going into this week. Now, one thing about this pair, the reason why I like this, in my trading or in my price action studies, I've seen this lots of times. Whenever we have this kind of move, most of the time, and this is how I saw it, most of the time I will get out here. Okay, that's where most of the time I'll get out, and then this is where the big moves will actually occur. And to show you an example, let me go to Euro Aussie, because this happened on Euro Aussie this year, where I was expecting price to trade up, and I actually got out here, right here. That's where I got out, and then this move actually transpired. So it's something that I've observed in my trading, that anytime I'm expecting price to, for example here again, right, I'm expecting price to trade up to that level, and then once I'm done, that's when the big moves that is without any sort of retracement, that's when they happen. And if you go through a chart, you see lots of examples whenever we have such kind of a nice trend movement, right? Once you get out, that's when the actual big moves will unfold. So that's why I'm keen on this pair and that one. Okay, and then finally euro pound, I'm looking for them to trade down here for this week. So more likely that I'm gonna get sell to go down. If we pull back, better. If we don't, I'll just find an entry, because I like this equal low. They did not take it properly. This low is also there, right? So very clean. We have that imbalance sitting just below it, so I'm expecting them to basically run down. Okay, so pretty much that's it for my crypto traders. You know what we're expecting. I've actually given you some things on the on Ethereum, right? I gave you last week, Ethereum is likely to trade here. I still think it might trade a little bit higher. We do have something inside this candle right here that price might reach for. So I'm looking for, or I'll look for continuation to the upside on Ethereum. Okay, but don't forget the big picture is still down, so this is just some sort of a pullback. On the weekly time frame, you see what I mean, this high. Okay, so that's what I'm looking at. Bitcoin, if you go to the weekly chart, I didn't want to do that because that's your job, but that's where I'm expecting them to reach for, that weekly high there. Okay, that's how it looks like. Very nice, clean, equal highs. That's what I'm expecting them to reach for. Okay, so that's day 2, Bitcoin and Ethereum. I've been asked to look at the indices. The only one that I'll look at is the NAS, because that's what most of our members trade. And for NAS, our next upside objective will be 12183. Okay, that's where I think they're gonna go. So look for buys only. If you want to do any sells, make sure that it will be up here, because any sell that is coming down might be just a pullback and they will rally up again. So be mindful of selling against this move. Okay, they've accumulated a lot of longs down here, and to me, it looks to me that the dollar index is kind of retracing. Long term is still bullish, but it's kind of retracing. And since this is an inverse of what the dollar does, if dollar is going down, we want to see the indices go up, right? So you want to be a buyer rather than a seller. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'll see you guys maybe this week. I keep promising, you never know, one of these days I will do a live YouTube live session. All right, if you'd like to see a YouTube live session, just comment below this forecast, and then I will see what I can do. Until then, stay safe and be good.